Hi, I'm Tanya and this is my channel Just Let Me Sew. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you are really well. It's been a few weeks, I think, since I last did a vlog. Sorry about that. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you might know that life's a little bit chaotic for us at the moment. We are in the middle of building work, and I say middle because it definitely doesn't feel like we're near the end. We were meant to have finished, as I said previously, by the end of September, and then it was end of November, and now November is really creeping through and we are still not near the end. They've discovered quite a big damp issue in one of the rooms and they've had to just completely halt work on that room. Thankfully, the kitchen area is still going ahead, and I will put some footage in here if you are interested in what it is currently looking like. So yeah, it's not just a kitchen sort of refurb that we're having done. We had an extension, and then sort of part of that area is like a basement, sort of lower ground area. So big work's going on. Anyway, what that means for me is I still have no washing machine. So still having to go over to my lovely mum's once a week to wash all our clothes. Still using the air fryer, microwave, sewing where and when I can, tripping over boxes outside with light shades and extractor fans and all that really boring stuff. Anyway, what I have been getting up to though is actually a little bit of sewing, and I'm getting a little bit better at carving out that time to do some sewing. And what I have learned is that those projects need to be a little bit easier, nothing that's going to cause me too much of head scratching. And the perfect project for that is the bob pants. I love the bob pants. I know they can be quite divisive. Some people don't really like the bob pants that much, the barrel leg perhaps, but I really like them. They're really comfortable, come together really easily. There's a fantastic tutorial, which I will link down below. I can't remember the lady's name that does it, but it's really easy and makes the style arc instructions not a problem at all. But what I did for this pair of bob pants was I did a little hack to the pockets. Now, you will probably know that Tilly and the Buttons released a barrel leg pattern as well. And what a lot of people liked about that particular pattern was that the pockets are not so much just side pockets, they're slant pockets at the front. That's one of the distinguishing features. And I do really like that slant pocket look. And I have made some joggers in the past that I sort of self-drafted myself from from some joggers I already had. So I knew that I could make that kind of pocket. So that is just what I did with the bob pants. So I will try and include some footage of me wearing them here. Little caveat about the fabric. I bought this fabric from Pound Fabrics, and when it arrived it was a bit browner than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be more of a beigey colour. It's also quite a lot thinner than I thought it would be. I knew it was going to be a polyester, and I knew realistically for the price it wasn't going to be like really good quality, but it is quite thin. So when I finished these and I wore them to take my kids to school the other day, my son said to me, "Mummy, are you going to wear that?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He went, "Aren't they your pajamas?" You gotta love kids for telling the truth, right? So I sort of walked to school feeling a little bit like, do people think I'm in my pajamas? But who cares? Because then I came home and I just cracked on with work and nobody saw my pajamas anymore. Anyway, nothing else. They're a great toile for this particular pocket hack. So here they are. Right, so they have the same elasticated waistband as the bob pants. And here is the slant pocket. Now, I did take some photos as I was sort of drafting this piece myself, and it's a really easy hack to do. You just simply cut this front piece, you sort of cut that bit off. I didn't even cut it off my pattern piece from the bob pants. I just drew a line and folded it over. You then create another pattern piece, which is this back piece that you can see here. And I will turn them out so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. And with the photos, hopefully it'll make it a little bit clearer. So you have this piece here, and it's that section, that triangle section that you can see from the front, and you can see you've made just a pocket bag there. And then you make a lining piece, and a lining piece is just for that section here. So not including this top triangle piece. And then of course you need to include your seam allowance, which I just did a little centimetre seam allowance, not much at all. Really, really easy to make. You just sew this pocket bag and the lining piece together at the triangle, flip it out, and then attach it as you would a normal pocket. I will try and see if I can find a tutorial, because what I kind of do with these things is I just figure it out as I go along. I would draft up a pattern piece in pencil and rub things out and sort of think, is that going to work, and play around with things. I quite like making it up as I go along, but very, very easy, and it gives a really nice finish, nice look, something a bit different. Now, if you did want to go more for the Winnie pants look, what you could do with this front elastic, you can keep the elastic there, but just make sure you pull that fabric a little bit tighter and stitch down the elastic there, so you haven't got so much of the gathering. Personally, I like having the gathering at the front as well. I think this might sound a bit weird, might sound a bit counterintuitive, but I've got a little bit of a mum tum, and I find having those gathers gives that illusion of sort of, is there anything there, isn't there anything there? Whereas when it's flat fronted, it's completely flat, and you can definitely see a mum tum in that. So I think the gathers gives that sort of illusion of, is that fabric, is that not? Anyway, I like it. What else did I do? I added my little label, Me Made. I think that is a little Rosy Cheeks label. This one, Good Things Take Time. I think this is an SA label. I think. Again, I'll link it down below, sorry. I made these ones in the full length. I have previously taken quite a lot of length off the bob pants, but I thought, no, for these they're going to be a bit more autumnal, I'll keep them full length. And yes, I will try and put pictures or video of me wearing them there so you can see what they look like. But aside from being labelled pyjamas, I think they're pretty decent. Nice and comfy, and yeah, a good way to test out that little pocket hack. It did work. What I would say, if you do this pocket hack, just be sure to make sure that this is pulled nice and tight. If you don't, it will sag a little bit. And in fact, I had that the first time, and I had to unpick it where I'd sewn it down and just hoik it up a little bit to tighten it. So yes, very pleased with those. And I think this might be controversial to say, but I know some of my viewers have agreed with me on this in the past. You don't always have to go out and buy another pattern. You will probably have something in your pattern stash already that you could adapt a little bit. I know it's nice to support local small pattern makers, but also pennies are quite tight for me at the moment, so I like to be industrious and see what I can work with. Next up, what else have I been making? Well, this was quite a while ago now, and this just shows how busy I have been. It was so sophisticated about a month ago. Yeah, it was middle of October, wasn't it? And I made the Kilo wrap dress. I will include a picture of me wearing it here. Now, I was helping out on the day. I didn't help organise it this year with everything that was going on, but I did help out on the day. I was volunteering, which meant I didn't get any time really to do anything. I barely even ate anything on the day. We had some leftovers afterwards, but lots of serving food and tea and chatting and making sure people were okay, helping with the catwalk, helping with the entry, helping with the raffle. It was a really, really good event. So if you haven't heard of Sophisticated before, it is an afternoon tea sort of slash sewing socialising event in Woking in Surrey, and it is run by the lovely Mel and Eleanor, who run a sewing group at the Lighthouse Project, which is a charity project in Woking. So this afternoon tea is a nice way to raise some money for that wonderful charity and get lots of lovely sewists together to have a good old chat and some good food and tea. And yes, I made up the Kilo wrap dress. Now, I did make myself a toile of this dress. I made it in a nice thick ponte, and I thought, do you know what? It's not too bad. I could tell it wasn't really the pattern for me, but I had bought the fabric in mind for this pattern and bought the pattern, obviously. I did actually win it in a prize from Sew Essential, but I thought, no, I've decided I'm going to make this dress, so I'm going to make it. And it was really sort of touch and go. I took a couple of other dresses with me to change into when I was there, if I was actually going to wear it. And I thought, I've made it, I'll wear it. I can't say it felt the best dress to wear. There's a lot of fabric around the sides with the big ties. I had actually taken a little bit of the fabric off, just like an inch grading in at the side to try and reduce some of that fabric. But even so, it just felt a little bit too big on me. Anyway, I'm glad I made it. I now know, tick, I've tried the kilo wrap dress, not quite for me, so I will leave that one. Not sure if I will wear that dress again, or perhaps I will upcycle it into something else, maybe make a t-shirt out of it or something for my daughter. We'll see. But Sophisticated was a brilliant event. Thank you very much to everybody that came along. Thank you to Mel and Eleanor for running the project, and also the wonderful Angie who helps organise that. Angie does an amazing job doing all the social media. She is like a whiz at Instagram and doing all the reels and everything, which I have no clue about, but she is brilliant. So thank you, Angie. Wonderful company as ever. Next up, what have I been working on? Well, I have been quite busy cutting things out. Now, we all know that cutting out is, actually I won't say we all know, but for some of us, cutting out is one of those jobs that you just really don't like doing. I know for me personally, I don't like it. I don't have a cutting table, so I'm down on the floor, my back, my hips start to ache. But when my sewing space is a kitchen, a very small sort of makeshift kitchen at that, I don't always feel in the mood at the moment to be getting my sewing machines out, plugging everything in, battling my way through extension leads and bags and things. So I have been doing a bit of cutting out of paper patterns and also some fabrics. And the first one that I have cut out is another Lincoln top. So I think it was my last vlog, or the vlog before that perhaps, that I shared I had made a lovely Lincoln top out of a navy Lurex knitwear. I'll include a picture here. And I love that top. Now, it's probably not so much a top actually, it's a sweater, because I made it out of a thick knit. I think it is actually meant to be made out of a jersey, like a cotton jersey. But I made it sort of more into a jumper with poppers down the side. So if you haven't heard of the Lincoln top before, it is a pattern by Love Notions, and it does have different variations. I'll put the stock images here for you. You can have a wider, more scooped neckline. You can have obviously 3/4 length sleeves, and they do also have a sleeveless version, which I think would look really nice as sort of little tank top as well. They tell you to use buttons down the side, and it has these unusual vents at the, not even at the side, they come around more to the front. But I prefer the poppers for that. I think they look really nice, and I'm not quite brave enough to try buttonholes on knit fabric. My machine's not the best at buttonholes, especially not bulky buttonholes, and especially not jersey stretchy buttonholes. So what am I going to be making it out of? Well, I've got it cut out here, so excuse me reaching and wrestling. And this is a lovely fabric that I bought from Adam Sews, who was doing a little de-stash, and you can see how I've already started to sew this up. And it's in this lovely, really pale peach ottoman knit, so it hasn't got huge amounts of stretch, which is great for this top. You don't really need it, and there's not really any stretch on the vertical. So there it is coming together. So I've just done a little bit of overlocking. Now, I really struggled with this fabric to find matching ribbing. Buying online is quite tricky, isn't it? In hindsight, when it had arrived, I thought, oh, I should have probably ordered peach. A peach colour would have been better. I ordered first of all an off-white, thinking that would be quite neutral, and then I thought off-white against your neck and makeup is not really going to be a good idea for me. So I went for a real pale dusky pink, which is not exactly right, is it? But it's okay, it's just for the neckband. And it comes together quite quickly, this one. So I've already started sewing that one up. The next thing that I have cut out was a fabric that I shared a couple of vlogs ago, I think, and it is a nice thin rib knit that I got from Little Legs Fabric, so I'll grab that. And with this one, I am making up the Trudy turtleneck. Now, I'm not making it as a turtleneck, I'm leaving out the turtleneck and I'm just making it a standard crew neck top. I'm going for long sleeves. I'll put the stock images up here of what it looks like, and I'm just trying to find a scrap of the fabric to show you because it is all cut out ready to go. So it's an off-white with a caramel colour stripe running through it. It's quite fine, not too thick, and it's got good recovery to it. Some rib knits can be really quite loose, but this one does seem to spring back quite nicely. Right, so those are the main things that I have got cut out. Now you'll see next to me I've got a nice stack of fabrics, and these are some of the plans that I have also got lined up. So this fabric I got from the swaps table at my sewing group in Redhill. This was donated by the lovely Alison, and it is this, I think it's a viscose jersey that was actually quite popular. I think Tamlin from Sewn on the Tyne made something up in this. It's gorgeous. Love this, and Alison decided it just wasn't for her, so I grabbed it, and she had 3 meters, and first of all I said, well, I can't take 3 meters, everyone's going to want this, so I took 1.5 meters, I halved it, and then at the end of the group, at the end of the session, no one else had taken any, so I said, can I take the rest of it? So I've got 3 meters of this amazing fabric, and what I'm going to make out of this is the Law Pierre Lene top, and I want to make the long sleeve version. I first came across this top when I saw the lovely Rachel, who is French Seams, make a version of it, and I love that kind of neckline where it's got the little gathers here. And I have seen this trend in quite a few high street shops actually, so perhaps it's a little bit on trend. So I'm going to make the long sleeve version with that nice neckline, and I'm going to a sewing retreat soon, and I plan to take this with me because the lovely Rachel will also be there, and I'm hoping that if I get stuck, she can tell me what to do. Sorry Rachel, I've already planned that you are going to save me on this one because I do get a little bit confused sometimes by patterns. The next one I'm going to make up is this beautiful viscose. Love this so much. Now it doesn't look anything like wow, you know, big patterns, but it is just stunning. I love it. So it's got this black background with gold and lilac and sort of blush pink and these little lurex flecks that go through it, which don't actually even come up on the reverse, so I don't think the itchiness should be a problem. This is from the Fabric Obsession, which is run by Bex and Adele, as you probably know. I got myself 2.5 meters of this one because I've shared this fabric before with you. I just don't have enough fabrics in dress length. I buy 1.5 meters, maybe 2, but never enough to make a dress. And I saw this and thought this will be beautiful for a dress. And again, I was inspired by another vlogger, the lovely Angela, who is Devon Threadtails, and her stunning Stylark Asher dress that she made up. She has made it in a beautiful green viscose fabric, and I think she said she was a bit on the fence about this dress when she first made it, but I think it is stunning on her. That green fabric, the silhouette is just so elegant. It's got a scooped hem at the back, it's got shearing, which I've never done before and I've always put off, but again, if I take this to the sewing retreat, Angela's going to be there too, so I can ask her for some help with the shearing. So Rachel and Angela, watch out. I'm sorry, I'm going to be bothering you for help. So yes, I will be making that one up into the lovely Asher dress, which I think will look really lovely for work. Nothing too fussy, could even be for like the Christmas season as well. And the last fabric that I have here, again, inspired by another vlogger. I watch quite a lot of YouTube, as you can tell. That's the great thing about commuting on a train, is you get to just sit and watch YouTube. Now, This was influenced by Sarah, who is Super Bales Sews over on YouTube, and she had bought a gorgeous cinnamon coloured cord from Jenny Stitches, and I ran over to her shop as soon as I saw it, and typically it was a pre-order and I think everything that was left over had sold out, so very sad I couldn't get it. And I kept scrolling through lots of different fabric shops desperately looking for this fabric, and eventually First for Fabrics posted a reel that they had all these amazing cords in, and there was this colour, so I grabbed it, but they only had 2 meters left, and I want to make the Fabric Godmother Aspen dress out of this, and that has got quite a gathered skirt, even if you reduce the width of the skirt, because it's quite a lot of gathering. So I messaged the lovely Kaylee at First for Fabrics and said, have you by any chance got any left on the bolt, any random remnant pieces? I will happily pay you for it. And she said, yes, we've got an extra 1/2 meter. You can have it at no extra charge. So really massive thanks to Kaylee and the team at First for Fabrics for that. Really, really pleased with that. And it's got this lovely texture. It's not like a smooth cord. It's not like the bubble cord, but it's just got a nice texture to it, that nap on it. So yes, going to make up the Aspen dress out of this. I think I'll probably make the short sleeve. I had thought about making the long sleeve with the cuff, but cord is quite a warm fabric anyway. So if I do short sleeves, I can still wear it in spring and autumn, and then when it gets cold, I can put either a turtleneck underneath or long sleeves. So those are all my plans. Before I finish up, I haven't said what I'm wearing actually. Now this is a self-drafted vest that I made for So Frugal this year. I will try and link to the vlog up here where I show what I did. I did the little scallop detail myself. I quilted it. Again, this was also donated by Alison at my sewing social, a lovely lilac needle cord. And I lined it with an old pillowcase that my mum didn't want anymore. And then it's got the binding on the inside there as well, so it's fully reversible. Okay, so I hope this has been interesting, what my plans are, and how crazy life is plodding along for me. I'm trying not to tear my hair out, and they have promised that the washing machine will be installed on Monday. That's this Monday. So next time you see me, I may be very happy. You know, small things, a washing machine, make all the difference, don't they? Well, thank you so much for sticking with me. It's been quite a long vlog catching you up on everything that's been going on. Please do like this video to help me out with the algorithms and all that craziness. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. Basically means you just get a little notification when I have published a new video. It doesn't cost anything and you won't get spammed or anything like that. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are well. Do let me know in the comments what plan is your favourite, what you think. And if you've sewn up any of those patterns or fabrics before, I'd love to know what you made with them as well. Right, well, take care of yourselves and I will see you next time. Bye.